What's going on, YouTube? It's Levi Berg at the Burgundy Blade, and I've been getting a lot of requests to make a follow-up review on the THOMAS Astra. So that's what this is going to be. Before I get into it, though, I would like to mention that these will all be my opinions. You may not share the same opinions as I do when it comes to preferences in a battle song, but it's always good to see what other people think in hopes to find what you like. So, let's get into it. Now, there's a lot of things I like about this battle song, and there's certain things that I don't. Some of those things could be situational, but some of these things are, like, for sure going to be the case for every THOMAS Astra. What do I mean by that? For example, the tolerances on this battle song are not the greatest, but that could be a problem just for me. You may have a THOMAS Astra that has perfect tolerances, that's just fine. But something that's going to be the same for every THOMAS Astra is going to be the weight distribution in it. So, please just take all those key points into consideration throughout this video. Alright, I'm gonna stop jabbering. Jabbering? That's not a word. I'm gonna compare it a lot to the Canyon, as it's the closest battle song I have to it in my collection. And they're actually very similar in a lot of ways. But there's also some good differences. So, what do I like about the Astra? I personally love the amount of weight that you get into steel trainers. It just carries a lot of momentum and it just feels good. That's a me preference. You may not have that same approach when it comes to steel battle songs, but that's fine. Just let you know that's what I like, but that's one of the factors that plays into this battle song. I don't know why I'm so gassy right now. Okay. So, yes, the Astra and the Canyon, they're both heavy battle songs. I do think the Astra is heavier, but I haven't really researched that. And I don't know. I'm just going based off of what feels heavier. And I mean, I could be wrong. But what I do know is if you look at the Canyon, I think it's... Okay, we are in frame. Okay. It's very, very straight. You know, there's not much changes in the thickness along the blade and along the handles. The very bottom here, you can see it's not too thick at the very bottom. It just keeps the channel design shape, but there's not much material down there to carry a whole lot of weight. Whereas on the Astra, you could see that the blade actually thickens as it goes up, which is a very important detail. And at the bottom here, I don't know how heavy these things are, but from what I feel, they do carry a lot of weight. So that's all important because on the Canyon, everything is like evenly weighted. Like the weight is very evenly distributed throughout the entire battle song. Whereas on the Astra, you're going to get a lot more weight at the end of the blade and at the end of the handles. Now, that could be a good or bad thing, depending on your preferences. That's all a preference for people. But it's a very important thing to note. Because that will not change throughout any battle song or any THOMAS Astra. So, my next point, I guess, would be the tolerance. Now, I mentioned earlier it's not the greatest for me anyway, but that could be different for other battle songs. There are things to consider when it comes to tolerances on a battle song. One of them, really the main thing is shipping. I mean, packages can be tossed around, maybe put into not very great environments that are maybe more warm or more cool, because metal can expand and shrink depending on the temperature. Not so much that you'll be able to see or feel any differences, but maybe just enough that the tolerance will not be as good. So that's why I say that, might not be the same for everyone, but that's a good thing to note. Because if you're watching a lot of videos and everybody's saying that the tolerance isn't good, then chances are that's made by design. I don't know what the thick washers do. I don't know how important of a detail that is, but they are huge. I don't know if that changes what. I mean, I'm sure it changes something, but I don't know exactly what it is. Oh, other thing to note. Now, on most ballast songs, you're able to screw in from both sides. You could put like a screwdriver there to twist, and then a screwdriver here to hold it in place, right? So that you can really tighten it. But on certain ballast songs, like my real one and the actually the Reverie has it too, you can only ever place a screwdriver on one side. There's a name for it and I don't remember what it is, but then it's super flat on the other side, meaning there's not much you could do to support it. So I know Squid Industries, they have a lot of ballast songs that go with that design, and what they say in their videos is you grip the handles and then you twist. And what that does is when you grip the handles, it clamps the screws in place, and then you're able to tighten it. So that's great. But there's extra hardware at the bottom here, and there's no way to clamp it really. So for me, what's annoying is one of them gets loose. I'm not sure if you can hear that, but that's one of these end ones that's just loose enough that it ticks. And it's very noticeable for me when I'm flipping, and it's kind of annoying. Now, obviously, that may not be the same for everybody, but that is an important detail. It also means that if you were to replace the hardware, it might be a bit of a challenge. The other thing, though, is because these are a sandwich design, they're not channeled. It means that if this screw comes loose and if everything falls apart, then the handle is basically unusable, because one part of the handle will go that way, the other will go that way, and it will not stay together as a handle, which is not good. I haven't ran into that problem yet, but for long term, that could be a problem. Which brings me into my next point. Is this a good ballast song to have as your first ballast song, or is it better for a collection? I would say it's better for a collection. I mean, it's cheap. Yeah, it's good. But you got to take into consideration why it's cheap. And that goes for all the reasons that I have mentioned, with the screws and the weight and everything, and the design. The sandwich handle design is always what's making ballast songs cheap. So that's a very important thing to note. I would not recommend this for any beginner, just because I do not think, I really do not see this thing lasting too long, unless you're planning on buying other ballast songs in the future. If you were going to hold on to just one ballast song for a long time, this would not be it. There's too many ways that I think it could fall apart and not be good. And honestly, it doesn't seem like a very, doesn't seem like a wise choice to pick this one. Now, if you do have a big collection, like I do, and you have a lot of battle songs and you're really just trying to go out and figure out what you like, and or you're just trying to collect them all, this would be a good option for a collection. It's definitely got a nice looking design. I gotta say, I am a fan of the way it looks. And the way it flips, again, this is a preference because of the extra weight at the bottom and the top. It really flips different, but it feels good for me. If I were to compare it to another battle song, I would say it's similar to the Impulse. On the Impulse, you got a thicker blade at the top, and then you got the extra weights at the bottom, which carries a lot of weight through every flip. But again, it's all preference. If you're not a fan of the Impulse for that reason, then I wouldn't recommend this one for that reason. And to be honest, I think that pretty much covers it. Ooh, actually the blade. More about the design. This, I don't know what you call this. But the bite handle indicator, I really like this type of design. I noticed that which one had it? Which one was it? Was it the, yeah, okay. So the Impulse also has it. And the reason I like this design compared to stuff like the Vulp, well, the Vulp sucks for a bite handle indicator because you put your finger in there doing chaplains and it just grinds and grinds on your finger, and that sucks. Now you get stuff like the Cheese or the Reverie. Actually, the Canyons like it too. You have this like one little notch here as a bite handle indicator, and it's fairly nice. I mean, it really does let you know that you're holding the bite handle, but again, it kind of grinds on the finger a little bit. Again, this is all my preference, but on this one, in my opinion, it's actually no, that one's a bit. The Impulse is a bit much. I think the corners on here might be a bit more sharp, but on here it's more rounded. And it's just like, it does grind a little bit, but it's not as bad. Yeah, it's not the worst. Other than that, yeah, I think that's about it. So, just to recap everything I've talked about. If you don't care to watch through the entire video, you want to skip to the end. Compared to the Canyon, it's sorry, let me start over. Recap. More weight at the top and the bottom, which means that the weight is not evenly distributed, and it does carry a lot of weight through, or it carries a lot of momentum through your flips. I would say tolerances aren't the greatest. There's a lot of ways it could fall apart and will not last you long term if you're planning on flipping this consistently for a long time. So, would not recommend for a beginner, but I definitely would recommend if you were creating a collection. And that is my honest opinion about the THOMAS ASTRA. Feel free to agree or disagree with my opinion. That's totally fine. If there's anything about this battle song that does not seem right or you disagree with, that's the point of doing research. Go out and watch other people's videos. I know, I think Blade Bias may have already done a second review on it. I think Ghost Flipping also did. So it's always good to check out other people's opinions to see what matches yours. This is Levi Bergen at Bergen Blade, and I have a lot of fun making these videos, so if you wouldn't mind hitting the like and subscribe button, that would mean a lot. And I will see you in the next video. Adios.